Welcome to Return of the Obra Dinn, a mystery adventure game designed to look really old. We play as an inspector for the East India Company, trying to piece together what befell the ship, which just now drifted back into well-charted waters after disappearing 5 years ago. Ooh! 60 people were on this ship, and we aren't allowed to leave until we've investigated as much as we can. The game has 16 achievements, and I'm gonna claim them all. By the way, I'll be spoiling, like, the whole game. So, there you go. We open on a grumpy mariner taking us to the ship.
Seems a bit late if you ask.
I didn't.
We board the ship and it's immediately apparent something awful happened here. A damaged mast, rigging, and not a single soul aboard. We keep looking around and just when we're about to start busting doors down...
Oi! It's too heavy!
What the heck do you want now? What's the problem, old man?
It's too heavy. Take it yourself or open it here.
Now we get our tools for solving this mystery. A book and a pocket watch. Great! Now I can be a nerd and know what time it is. The book is from a Henry Evans in Morocco, and he seems to know something about the ship's last voyage. He also writes, we can fill out everything except the bargain chapter for unknown reasons. This book has a lot of documentation to help piece this puzzle together. Maps of each level of the ship, 2 crew sketches, a crew list, a map of the voyage that fills out as we investigate, and even a glossary to help you understand the crew positions and terminology. But for malfunction. What's a but for? Damn it! Returning to the Obra Dinn. Hey, just like the name of the game! We approach the single corpse on the deck and use the pocket watch on it. What follows is a snapshot of a man's final moment before death. The first of many.
Captain! Open the door! Kick it in. Lest we break it down and take more than those shells!
You bastards may take exactly what I give you!
Now we can move around and try to figure out who's who based on audio and visual clues. This guy's probably the captain. I mean, look at that stash. This guy could be an officer because he's dressed kinda nice, but we can't say who he is yet. This guy is probably just a seaman, and so on. After 30 seconds, the scene fades out and the book appears letting us know we are starting at the end. The best way to start a story. All we can really say is that this guy was shot by the captain, and that is the core gameplay loop. Find a corpse, observe a scene, determine what you can, and move on. By the way, I'm not going to go over the logic of every last crew member, because that would take forever. After witnessing the captain shoot, slice, and bonk his attackers, he takes himself out, blaming himself for the failed voyage.
Please forgive me.
The corpse of the captain's wife brings us to a new chapter. Yeah, we're starting with the Kraken. This 7th chapter is rightfully called The Doom, and after inputting Abigail's fate, we are shown that the game locks in every 3 fates you've gotten completely correct. Handy. Man, no matter what these guys do, they don't stand a chance against this Kraken. Dudes are getting ripped apart, burned alive, and drowning overboard. Below deck is even worse, with cannons coming loose and accidentally discharging. But don't worry, the goat is okay. There's a knife here bringing us to another chapter, The Escape. After somehow driving the Kraken off, there was an attempted mutiny. This chapter really highlights how we need to identify everyone before we're able to complete any fates involving murder. Going 1 deck lower, we find a cow skull, and strangely enough, the pocket watch works on animals too. This starts chapter 2, A Bitter Cold. Yo, this dude has a monkey! And he seems to be the ship's surgeon, Henry Evans. Hey, that's the guy that sent us the book and the watch. Once we put in some info, we get our first 2 achievements, Any 6, for solving any 6 fates, and A Bitter Cold, for solving all the fates in chapter 2. On this same deck, we find remains on a hidden walkway that bring us to chapter 6. We hear a struggle and... what the heck is that? What the heck is that thing? Some kind of crab rider? Yep, those are crab riders. Not as cool as dragon riders, but I guess you have to work with what you have. A few more men died to these. This guy's doing a sick flip. Oh wait, he fell from the rigging. Because he got struck by lightning. At some point, this door opened, and it has the best scene in the game. I guess that's why it's called the poop deck. Hey, poop is funny, shut up! This poor unfortunate soul is Edward Spratt. Oh god, what's that sound? It sounds like Ed is spratting it up again. God help us all. You can tell this is him because his job is listed as artist, and his portrait isn't in the crew sketch, but his initials are. After this and one other scene, we've seen everything in the Doom. Wow, that is a lot of dead and missing people. Looking in another cabin, we are taken to yet another chapter. Murder. The Formosan passengers are being taken hostage, along with some cargo, by mutineers. This scene leads into the scene depicted in the crew sketch.
Hok Seng Lao, you have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder of Nunzio Pasquale.
Quiet.
As captain of this ship, and by the authority of the East India Company, and thus the Crown of England, I sentence you to death by firing line. Mr. Wolf, when you are ready.
Right, sir. Ready, men. Aim. Fire!
So Hok Sang Lao is killed by firing line, but if you stand behind the line, you can see only one shooter actually hits Lao. Goat check. He's fine. Right after this, we see that Lao didn't kill Nunzio Pasqua. Second mate Nichols did, and Nichols was after this shiny shell. Uh-oh. Somewhere there's a skeleton missing a foot.
What madness is this? 20 years my steward, and never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself.
Those ungodly beasts carry a curse. Throw them back or doom us all.
So you see, the captain's steward cut a guy's leg off so that... Actually, I still don't know what his end goal was. This is the ending scene of Chapter 5, Unholy Captives. This is also when I happened to get NA-15. Continuing with this chapter, we discover the crew caught and, I guess, detained some strange fish creatures. They also seem to have a connection to shells that look like the one the Formosans brought. Next we reach Chapter 4, The Calling. It appears the fish are actually sirens, and they really want their shells back. Nichols really thought this mutiny was a good idea. It was not. Back in the cargo hold, we can see a barrel is missing. This is actually Chapter 1, Loose Cargo. Yeah, so someone decided to stow away in a barrel for free passage. I don't know what the plan was here. He knew this was a really long trip, right? Like, what if he hadn't been discovered? Anyway, unknown idiot here died from impact, but next to him, a man died from falling cargo. After correctly naming this guy, I got the achievement for doing Chapter 1. Also in the cargo hold is the remains of one of those huge crabs from earlier.
Oi! Get in there somewhere! Storm's coming! Finish your business and climb down here!
That's the signal that we've seen all the deaths in every chapter. A storm may be coming, but we have all the time in the world. Now we have to go back and check every scene and deduce as many identities and fates as we can. As I worked these out, there were some honest mistakes, like swapping the carpenter and the carpenter's mate names, and some were just educated guesses. Okay, here's something cool. When I first played this game, I thought, and don't take this the wrong way, there was no way to tell the difference between the 4 Chinese top men. Their names are never said, and they all hold the same position. I figured you have to just guess for all these guys. As it turns out, the answer is... shoes. In one of the scenes in Chapter 2, many crewmen are sleeping, but some have their feet hanging out, and the hammocks are numbered. So once you correlate numbers and names with shoe type, you figured them out. I continued discovering fates and unlocking achievements left and right, NA-30, NA-45, and everyone for each corresponding chapter. After finishing everything apart from the bargain, we're finally ready to leave this ship.
Finally! Sit down so you don't fall out.
You can't tell me what to do. 1 week later, we've finalized our insurance assessment for the Obra Dinn. £29,000. What is that, like $3? Something? We get to keep the watch and send the book back to Evans. One year later, we sit at our desk with some tea when a package arrives. Oh boy, I hope it's that live platypus I ordered off Amazon. Oh man, that's not what I ordered. Wait, a monkey's paw? I know this story. Get rid of it. This is actually Evan's way of informing us what happened in the bargain chapter. Before he escaped the ship, he killed his monkey in the lazarette. Now we can see what happened in there.
I'll kill every last one of you monsters. Withdraw the Kraken, or I will kill you all!
The captain made a deal with the mermaids, and Martin gave the last shell back. Once we input what happened to him and the captain's steward, I finally get the achievement Obra Dinn for completing the book and getting the true ending. Here's my proof. All 60 fates. But wait, I'm missing 2 achievements. Turns out these 2 are tied to completing the game wrong. Abandoned ship requires I leave the Obra Dinn without getting everything right, and Captain Did It requires I blame everything, every last death and disappearance, specifically on the captain. But you can't change fates once they're locked in, so I have to start a new save, meaning I have to go through the whole game again. This isn't hard, it's monotonous. I already know everything that's gonna happen. I know where all the scenes are, what's in them, but I can't skip them. Every scene forces you to inspect it for 30 seconds on a first viewing. 2 hours later, okay, I've watched everything. I've claimed the captain axed absolutely everybody, including himself. I didn't even get the names right. Leaving the ship gets us Captain Did It. And after returning home, we get a letter telling us that we did so poorly that we actually killed Evans. He was so disappointed in us that he died. He used his final moments to express the extreme regret he felt with entrusting such a remarkable task to you. We thought you should know. The audacity of this. And with that, we earned the Abandoned Ship achievement, completing Return of the Obra Dinn. That's it. All 16 achievements, and it only took 6 hours. It really wasn't all that hard, but I wanted to start this channel off with an easy completion before moving on to stuff that's going to make me pull my hair out. I also want to make my videos better, so let me know what you liked and what you didn't. All that fun stuff. Take care, and I'll see you next time.